I'm standing here with Horst Kreuter, and you have been with us here at the annual meeting for 2 days. How has it been so far?
Very interesting for me. I've been working on the oil industry to come into geothermal for a long time, and now it's the time, and that got very obvious here in the discussions I had, in the panels we had, but also talking to the individuals of the oil companies of Baker Hughes about what the future will be for them, and geothermal is one part of the future.
You were mentioning, you were part of the panel yesterday, you were mentioning that when you started, there was no people watching the panel. You had a crowd of like 2,000, and how many came? Tell the story, please.
Yeah, that was the oil conference in 2005 in Qatar, and there were a couple of thousand people there from the oil industry, and they had a geothermal panel. It was the first geothermal panel they ever had at an oil conference, and of these several thousand, 14 people came to listen to geothermal. That was frustrating at that time. Now we have 2 panels and we might end up with 100 people, so there's a lot improving.
There's a lot of momentum in geothermal right now. How do you consider being in it when, you know, like having the experience from the start and so on? How do you feel the differences now?
It should have happened 20 years ago when I was young. Now that I have the experience, it's the right time to lead the industry into geothermal, because still there's a difference between oil well drilling and geothermal drilling. So we need the cooperation, we need the partners, because the know-how about the technology is with the oil industry, with Baker Hughes, with others, and we can supply the knowledge about the geothermal resource.
I consider you being not only geothermal, but also like an extension of the ecosystem that geothermal actually can do, extracting lithium. Can you tell us a little bit more about how you guys are working?
Yes, we founded the company Vulcan in 2018 because we knew from the past that lithium is in the Rhine, in the deep Rhines of the upper Rhine valley. And then it was not economic because there was no market. But now with e-mobility, the market for lithium and the batteries are growing wildly, and therefore they need lithium. And so we brought as a company the idea of the existence of lithium in the Rhine and the market together, and started the company, and now will produce CO2-free lithium. That is the only the only lithium that has that quality in the world, to sell them to battery producers and OEMs like Volkswagen, Stellantis or Renault.
And that will definitely be a part of the transition. It's amazing the work you're doing. As I mentioned, you're on the same panel as Basel Capital and Chevron and with Baker. What is your intention? What do you want people to listen to, and what do you want to say being on that panel? What's important?
Yeah, for them to understand the potential that we have to phase out of oil and gas sometime, and that there are alternatives, and alternatives where the know-how of the oil industry and of Baker can be used to tap into the reservoirs and to produce CO2-free heat, cold, and also electricity.
I think that's an important message to air, definitely. What more, if you would say something to the viewers we have over there, what would you say? Your final words.
Stay tuned. There's a lot going to be happening.
Stay tuned.